Coming up next on Good Morning El Paso.
A whole group of people, teenagers mainly, running out telling everybody to run for their life. And we saw a lady with blood all over her leg. I just grabbed my child and we just all ran.
A theater in Louisiana was packed with families as a gunman stood up and began shooting Thursday night. We have the latest developments on the investigation.
Also, House Republicans approve legislation cracking down on sanctuary cities, which shield residents from federal immigration authorities. Our congressman voted no, and Speaker Pierce voted yes.
And a Las Cruces family who went missing this week is found at last. How they managed to contact help coming up.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso.
Police in Lafayette, Louisiana say a gunman waited 20 minutes into the showing of the comedy Trainwreck before he stood up and opened fire on the crowd.
More than 100 people inside ran. Officers near the Grand 16 Theater moved in immediately.
And the gunman killed 2 people and injured 9 others before turning the gun on himself. We'll have the latest developments coming up in just a bit.
But first, a very good morning to El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Stephanie Valle.
And I'm Hillary Floren. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope your day's off to an okay start today.
And it is 6 o'clock in the morning. Let's send things right over to Crystal Clive for a look at our forecast. And Crystal, we saw some rain overnight, some sprinkles this morning, too.
Yes, we did. I feel like we've been saying that a lot on our morning show. That pattern, though, a little different starting today. This morning, conditions are great outside. Your temperature at 76 North Star Elementary School and 78 Loma Terrace Elementary School. Mountain View High School, a little cooler in the mid-70s. Same for New Mexico Farm and Ranch Museum, where we do sit at 74 degrees. These are just a few of our WeatherNet sites that are sponsored by Mattress Firm. Clouds and radar map. We had that light rain move through this morning. That has since broken apart. Still some rain down well to the south of us, but that's going to shift off and actually move on into parts of southern Arizona if it makes it that far. The better moisture pull, or that push from the south to the north, that has actually shifted. It's now kind of over the border between New Mexico and Arizona. The result is, while we still have chances of rain, not as strong today. In a few minutes, we'll talk about warming temperatures, those chances of rain changing up a bit, and your weekend expectations. All those details are only a few minutes from now.
All right, Crystal, thank you. Investigators are calling the crime scene at a Louisiana movie theater horrific. 3 people are dead this morning, another 7 injured after a man stood up during a 7 o'clock show last night and started shooting. Police say the gunman shot himself as authorities tried to reach him. ABC's Bazi Kanani has the latest on the investigation developing now.
At this Louisiana movie theater, a comedy flick ended in horror when police say a man stood up 20 minutes into the film and opened fire. More than 100 people inside ran.
A whole group of people, teenagers mainly, running out telling everybody to run for their life. And we saw a lady with blood all over her leg. I just grabbed my child and we just all ran.
Officers near the Grand 16 Theater moved in immediately.
4 officers entered the theater to engage the shooter. They did hear shots being fired at that time.
The gunman killed 2 people and injured another 9 before turning the gun on himself. Police are not yet releasing his identity, but say he was a 58-year-old white male. Louisiana's governor calls one of his victims, a teacher, a hero.
Even though she was shot in the leg, she had the presence of mind to pull the fire alarm to help save other lives.
The moviegoers were watching the comedy Trainwreck. The film's star, Amy Schumer, tweeted, "My heart is broken, and all my thoughts and prayers are with everyone in Louisiana." The mass shooting in Lafayette on the same day jurors decided they will not rule out the death penalty for James Holmes, the gunman in another movie theater massacre 3 years ago in Aurora, Colorado. Investigators believe the gunman acted alone. They're now trying to find out where he lived, checking several addresses that are listed for him. Bazi Kanani, ABC News, Washington.
New this morning, after more than a year of construction at a busy intersection in south central El Paso, the area is back to normal today, but drivers will have to adjust to driving through two different roundabouts. Good morning, El Paso's Denise Olivas is live right now with these details. Denise.
Good morning, Hillary. Construction at Alameda and Paisano, which started back in March of last year, caused more than a few headaches for drivers and nearby businesses. Now, here is a map of the area we're talking about and what it's going to look like now. The first roundabout is at Alameda and Paisano, and the second one just west of that. You can pretty much call it a double roundabout. And now also this is a video from new this morning of the area already open and just very few cars passing through there. The $10.5 million project also included landscaping, improved drainage, lighting, and sidewalks. And happening later today, a ribbon cutting ceremony to inaugurate the new and improved intersection will be happening. That's going to happen at 10 a.m. and that ceremony will be at Alameda, right in front of Fox Plaza. Hillary, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Denise, for that. And developing right now, President Obama is promising to veto legislation House Republicans just approved on Thursday. The Sanctuary Cities bill is meant to punish local governments that prevent the federal government from keeping tabs on a person's immigration status. If the bill becomes law, local governments would not get federal law enforcement grants or funding. President Obama says this threatens all Americans' civil rights by allowing law enforcement officials to check anyone's immigration status at any time. El Paso is a sanctuary city, and Las Cruces mayor says they too have some sanctuary city rules. Republicans are pointing to the death of a San Francisco woman, in this case allegedly by an immigrant who was in the country illegally despite multiple deportations. Republican Steve Pierce, who represents southern New Mexico, voted for it. El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke voted against the bill. Democrats say comprehensive reform is needed. Coming up later, we'll hear Pierce's comments on why he voted for it.
And as Trump works on support for his presidential nomination, he's not finding much support from the Border Patrol Union. Donald Trump landed in Laredo, Texas Thursday afternoon with plans of touring facilities with Border Patrol agents. But the agents backed out after consultations with the National Union. Trump wasted no time criticizing their actions.
Border Patrol, they're petrified of saying what's happening because they have a real problem here. And I'm talking about on the whole border. And they invited me, and then all of a sudden they were told, silencio, they want silence.
Despite Trump saying Mexican immigrants are criminals and rapists, he claims Hispanics stand behind him because he'll create jobs in the U.S. if elected president.
An update this morning on the missing family out of Las Cruces. From our New Mexico mobile newsroom now, this family has been found and all are said to be safe. 28-year-old Renee Nicholas and her two children, 4-year-old Ebony and 9-year-old Angel, were last seen late Wednesday night at their home in Las Cruces. Police say Nicholas's friends received text messages from her phone saying she needed help and was in danger. A Las Cruces police spokesman says the family's in good condition. Details about where they were found, though, have not been made public. And new information this morning on what may have led up to that SWAT standoff in far northeast El Paso Tuesday night. We spoke with the man police say 53-year-old Daniel Sandoval threatened before allegedly getting past police surrounding his house.
He was under the influence of some narcotics, and he came up to me and he was pissed off at something, I don't know, and he just came up to me with a knife and threatened me with the knife.
And that is Sandoval's neighbor, Victor Flores. Police and witnesses say Sandoval barricaded himself inside the home for hours, drove his truck through his garage door, through a rock wall, and reportedly almost hit a few police officers and also slammed into two police cars. Flores says it all began when he went to take out the trash at his home on Mesquite Bush, and Sandoval confronted him with a knife because another neighbor had just cut him off while driving. Daniel Sandoval is charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault. We also confirmed that he is a convicted sex offender.
And now to a murder investigation in Alamogordo. This is the woman police have in custody. 27-year-old Lydia Mendez was arrested in connection to the death of 28-year-old Erica Castillo. Police were called out to a home on Dexter Lane in Alamogordo, which is about an hour north of El Paso. When officers arrived at the home, they say they found Castillo's body. And police tell ABC7 she had 1 gunshot wound. Mendez is charged with murder. She is behind bars this morning, being held without bond.
It's 6:09. Here's a live look at traffic right now. US 54 very quiet out there. Take a look at that. And here's another live look at US 54. Also, I-10 looking good. We've been keeping an eye on traffic all morning long.
Horizon City residents are still on edge this morning after a woman was attacked earlier this week.
Yeah, what they told ABC 7 needs to be done in order for them to now feel safe again.
Plus, Amazon has surpassed one giant retailer this morning. We'll have the details.
And Crystal has the details on our forecast. Good morning.
Good morning. I know you're thinking about that weekend. We have the details on your expected temperatures and those chances of rain after your break.
Thanks, Crystal. This is ABC 7, where news comes first.